This is Big Pontiac again on Responsible Daddy Hour, doing what I do at this time of day, waiting to pick, pick my child up. And we're hanging out tonight, which is always good. So, um, and why I'm here is just to try to get positive vibrations for the fathers in the world. I think there's such attack on masculinity, but also it's attack on fathers. I mean, really, we saw the attack on fathers financially through child support system. That was really an attack on fathers because the system is unfair in the aspect if it's a woman and a man, a lot of times they don't be on top of the woman like they be on top of the man. And especially the way they used it as a weapon to hold brothers into poverty, because that's what you saw a lot. Uh, Men had to pay so much child support that they themselves could not get out of poverty. I mean, you listen to what's his name, Johnson, that played with Cincinnati, and that he, she from one point giving her something like 1.4, she was able to secure wealth for her and her son compared to the one that generated it. He couldn't hold the wealth as well as she held the wealth, dealing with a lot less money. So, hey, Derek, what is happening? Good to see you. Thank you for listening. And so, just something positive. It's a lot of brothers that be, and this is not anti-sister either. It's not that at all. But it's just saying that, the brothers that are involved, there's positive things for us to work on and positive things for us to discuss. And so that's why I bring this forum and see how we can build with each other instead of so much tearing down, so much divide and conquer. That's the way you conquer people. I mean, Sly's video was so right, where we don't even trust our own, like melanated people, and especially melanated people that come from the islands, don't trust the melanated people born on the lands. I mean, it's already instilled in them. Oh, here he is. I gotta talk shit. This is who I was waiting for. Now, I talk shit, Lobo, so don't take nothing personal. I call everybody motherfucker, so please don't take it personal. But you and Sly, y'all, I don't know about this Batman shit. Oh, my goodness. I don't agree with y'all. Let me go why. The first scene that was a complete failure was Batman gets double-barreled off the clock, and he's holding on with one hand. Catwoman comes and knocks the motherfucker away who was about to take him over, and then she turns her back on the motherfucker to go down like a kiss Batman. What the fuck? So wait a minute, you telling me there's a threat of a double barrel out there, and all you go do is knock him out and not take the gun. This is the main thing that I got the biggest problem. This motherfucker, okay, first of all, when he approaches the bomb, I remember previous Batmans having some kind of cover of the face. So he's approaching a possible bomb. So, he really only covers his face like that from the blast, which wouldn't have been enough. Wouldn't have been enough. At least he should have had a button to, Okay, this motherfucker got knocked the fuck out. Ain't nobody pull his mask over his head to say, God damn, this motherfucker's Bruce Wayne. Nobody did that. That was my wait a minute. That made no sense. Don't nobody pull his shit up and say, hey, give him mouth to mouth. This motherfucker just got hit with a bomb. I had a problem with that. I had a problem with super fucking slow. Way too many unnecessary long conversations. It reminded me of that what the werewolf movie dude was in, the vampire movie. Them long conversations for boring the fuck out of me. Boring the fuck out of me. All right. The other problem was, so you watched him kick ass. I mean, he kicked ass and did Ip Man death blows with the weighted gloves. I like that. But when he took off the suit, you could see this dude couldn't build up that force. He's more technology. He ain't building up that force of ass kicking. This is something probably people miss too. Falcone's character is based off San Giancana. That's why if y'all don't know this, and you can look it up, The original Batman was based in Grand Rapids, Michigan. And then as Superman, it was like Batman, Gotham City supposed to be Chicago. And then we got New York. It's supposed to be where Superman is supposed to be. Forget the bullshit. So that's another thing. Now, Batgirl, they developed her character a lot better than they developed Penguin's. I didn't think Penguin's character was developed. But let me get back to Sam Giancana. I'm sorry. Okay, the first problem with the character is Puerto Rican. Now they done passed 3 or 4 movies where they make him, he let him play Italian. He played in the Spike Lee movie where Radio Rakim got killed. His brother, I want to say, was in that movie too, but his brother played on either New York City Blues or CS or the Crime Show on NBC. He still speaks with a heavy Puerto Rican accent. But if, and this is going back, if anybody ever seen The Godfather 2, when they're in Cuba for the cake scene and Michael busts him out about the army, there's a dude with shades on, wearing a fedora with shades on. That's Sam Giancana. That's playing Sam Giancana. The other thing is this Puerto Rican dude played Sam Giancana in another movie. Same glasses and everything. But the cardigan sweater, if I'm not mistaken, because I haven't found any pictures with Sam wearing it other than when he got killed. So again, they're trying to pass this. And any character, we know, any European character can play any European character, but really Puerto Rican ain't really European. It's still American. So, but super slow. Super slow. The ending was okay, but I think Lobo said, end this shit, and it went on forever. I thought it was, okay. I don't know if anybody else would have got this too. So Batman, as I said, they don't end the movie. Batman dies because he sees what they don't see. Only Batman sees some people that needed help. When he took them out of the ceiling supports and shit, looked like they was on higher ground. When they got on the beams and shit, that shit was higher ground than the water. I guess they was locked in there, but some of them was up on the supports and they were safe. So, but if y'all didn't notice, the scene was set up where, you see them doing the Superman, like when they did Superman did the Hitler, it was almost that kind of form. And let me see if I can, I lost the thought. But yeah, that scene, okay, and something else that y'all didn't notice, Catgirl kept calling him Jesus. I don't know if y'all picked that up. Catgirl kept calling him Jesus. That's another part. Catgirl called him Jesus. So, okay. I'll give you the bomb. See, I was scratching my head on that one. He plays a good Batman, but needs to work on Bruce Wayne character. The Rock is playing Egyptian in Black Adam, but he's still shit. The Rock played the Egyptian before. Yeah, he played the Cobra King. Remember? Hey, so I give you the bomb seed. I was scratching my head. Yeah, I would have exposed Batman like a motherfucker. And I don't really even think he played Bruce Wayne a lot. The aloof billionaire running a company, don't nothing matter but vengeance. That's a little played out. But yeah, Rock had played the Cobra King. Hey, Liquefire, what's happening? Yeah, Scorpion King. Yeah, Scorpion King. So there was a long. Now, you gave it an 8. My son gave it an 8 last night too. I mean, we went in there. I was funky too. You go in there now. Movies give you everything, and I got to see in that extra noise, ultra, whatever they call it, where it's the extra. The speakers are a little better and shit. Yeah, we watched that shit like that. I saw the Batman car, but it would be hard to control that engine, especially for long bursts the way it's made. But I understand that. And it was cool. I mean, it was cool. I really never really liked chase scenes. Another one, it was kind of cheesy too. It was kind of cheesy because when he jumps off and inflates like the squirrel, the rubber squirrel wings, the where the squirrel ligaments help it fly, they did a old Superman kind of background imposure to make it look like he's flying. They did that kind of twice, those cheesy scenes. I was like, is this a salute back to the olden days? But Penguin as a character, I didn't know him really a lot to give him a show. I don't know. So, Hey, strong discernment. What's happening? Oh, and let me get this. Okay, so gold when I left right now, another 20 minutes of trading. Gold went down. It kept fluctuating between $50 and $59. When I left, it was down 50. Still 190. So shit, anything above 1900 is gravy. Silver was still peaking when I left at 06, so it went up 6 points, but I saw a high as low as 29. Bitcoin, when I first started watching it today, had went, what was it, 3,900 up at one point. When I left the house, it was up to 42,000, but as you know, it was up to damn near 70 grand in one period, so still down. NASDAQ as, let me see, 3.55, 3.63, 3.73. Ethereum, didn't write it, but it still was around 2,000. But what's funny is, and gas, when I left, gas was at 118 a barrel. So you see how the NASDAQ was up 2.1%, and you see the NASDAQ go up. You see how the gold and silver takes a slight dip, but not a big dip. And even Bitcoin rose with everything else. So the 10 and 30-year yield was up, and yesterday from the nickel, looks like nickel might still be off the chart still, like not trading. So they showed it, and I think they still closed it down and didn't reopen it. So somebody definitely cornered that nickel market, which, shit, you need nickel in all these almost electronics. So, but yeah, so I went to the 10 o'clock showing of the movie last night. We didn't get out that motherfucker till after 1. I mean, really, and this is how you tell if a movie is long. If you leave and go piss, and I mean, drinking beer at the movie, I should have bought 2 beers. It was 3 hours, so no way I'd have still hours later, like I could have drank 2 beers in the first hour and been all right 2 hours later just because I drank them, in the time period. But I had to pee forever and came back and they were still on the same conversation. So super slow movie. I'll give it a 7. I mean, the ass whooping scene in the beginning was funny. I mean, he whooped ass. It was like that's one thing that the Ip Man kind of put in there, is them death looking blows. Like Bruce Lee really wasn't giving you a whole bunch of death looking blows. The Ip Man taping, they started showing blows that would be enough force to kill people. The Riddler, creative. I'll say that. I guess I could appreciate the not cartoonish character. Kind of going into the intelligent psychopath criminal adversary. So, $5. I can't complain. Intro was crazy, like with the voiceover. Oh, okay, yeah. And I thought back about what Lobo said with the music. I am vengeance. Yeah, I am vengeance. Yeah. Intro, yeah, that was cool. Bill Gates, yeah, Riddler, Bill Gates, absolutely. He was on Good Morning America, and even before I saw the movie, I saw that cat. So I'd already put that together because I saw him on Good Morning America when I was getting to work on the car and was waiting. Because between reading and looking, and I was like, okay, that's the Riddler dude. And I saw his mask because they show it. I guess they don't think they spoil it, but really they did by showing who he was. So I thought that was, I understood that. So I still give it a 7. Super boring, slow. Now the ass kicking scenes was good. Like when he fought off, but I'll tell you what, another thing that looked kind of corny was him fighting all the policemen. Like him and all the policemen is very much Matrix-like. It was very much Matrix-like. Like even when he fought all them dudes, like dudes didn't know him and shit, even when he fought all them off, I was like, that's very Matrixy, like, going in a room and fighting a bunch of people, very like the Matrix. And even them chasing at the end when he's getting away and he dives away, very Matrix-like. Everybody dressed alike, all the Smiths. So I didn't think that was creative. I don't know, maybe they did that on purpose to look like the Smiths. I don't know. I guess the inspirational word today is shit. I don't know. I really didn't have one, but I guess the best thing is to be on your own time. You know, really, I've talked about this a lot, is you can control time. You can control your own time, since you are part of this. You are part of however you view it. Illusionary, moving illusionary, however you view this thing, it runs on your time. As I said before, I would set my watch on the work watches or the work clocks, and before you know it, they weren't running on my time. They running on my time. I remember I was working with one mug, and like they were saying that you had to clock in enough to before. You ain't supposed to be clocking in, and you're supposed to be at your machine, and that's a lie. Anybody tells you that, that's a lie. You ain't got to do nothing beforehand. You do not have to do nothing for the company until you clock in. Like they were saying, you had to be dressed. No, you'll win your case if you get unemployment, because you do not have to start. I said a big case we did before when I worked for it was really not even Johnson Control, but American Fibber. And they went back 5 years because they was been doing this. And they paid people. They had to get in touch with everybody had worked for the last 5 years and get these motherfuckers money for making them clock in before work and staying after work. It's like a half hour. They lost that shit. That's why I laughed at the motherfucker. I'm like, man, I called the labor board. I do not have to do shit for you until this clock go off. Well, no, that's what you want. And that can't be policy. Because anything else, you want me to come in 15 minutes early? Start my shift earlier. But I say just be on your own time. Be on your own time. And know the rhythm of your children's time, because being responsible daddy hour, I guess there was times when I was little, my father said he was going to come and didn't come. I mean, really don't disappoint children where you don't have to. Oh, and I wanted to say this before I forget. You know, like sometimes you can't say like broad statements and it covers everything or to both sides. Because I know last night, you know, Truth Teller was saying that you put children out at 18. Okay, but in my case, I have handicapped children. Now, in age, they grown, but not really in mind. My 20-year-old son has less, and I don't say this as to be hurtful, but just practical life skills as my 19-year-old. But even my 19-year-old has issues. So are they covered over where they have to move out just because they're just because you know, they 18? I think that's got to be considered. That's why my 19-year-old, I made a comment. It's like he ain't really ready. My 20-year-old, he'll be 21 in a few months. He's on his own, but still, it's like I have to have some input with him and kind of touch base with him, just because it's a certain amount of maturity that is coming, but he doesn't have it all. And like what they did, they learned from veterans instead of having, you know, the veterans still have big hospitals, you know, still big Army hospital for veterans. But what I noticed in the town I lived in Michigan, in Battle Creek, is they started putting veterans in homes. But now that has switched to pretty much handicapped people too. Certain levels of handicapped people, they now put them in homes, and the homes have monitors, and then these monitors help them, you know, go through life, have outings and help them go through life. And some people just need that because it is a type of discipline to that. And where people can build from that, build back to be with families. But just to say broadly, a broad sweep, I don't think you have to look at the whole picture. You have to look at the whole picture of things. Now, when I was 18, I moved out. I never moved back. I stayed summers, you know, during football in college. But once I moved out, I moved out. Everybody doesn't have that opportunity. So that's all. But don't make appointments with children and you don't keep them. You don't call them. I think it's a great respect just to call them. Let them know. Even if you can't do it, call back and say, hey, you know. And little gestures like this, you know, at the end of school, where both parents can greet your child. I mean, that's kind of hard if they take a bus, but if you can still see your child, you know, show up at school afterwards. If you can just say hello, don't hold her from being late, or take her if you're allowed to take her. Just showing them that, you know, you can be on time. You set schedules with children. Children trust you more and more, and they know you solid. Like me, when I'm here to pick up my children, it's an afterthought. For them, it's an afterthought because they know, she know even if the car broke down, I'd be here where she could just jump on me, carry her, or just walk home with her. We both don't live far from here. And we don't have to be nasty with our exes. I mean, it's so many emotions that such times we feel we got to be nasty to them. We really don't. Because if you get along with your ex and you do less arguing, there's a balance. I mean, the last time this one, and where we have heated conversations at times, that's just give and take. But for the most part, I remember the last time we really argued, my daughter was about 4 or 5, and she was like, "Stop arguing." And I don't think she's seen us argue since then. Kyrie had the first Nets 11 50-point game in the franchise. Yeah. Because Albert King, I think, scored 50 for the Nets too. I want to say Albert King played for the Knicks and Nets. And no, not Albert Bernard. Albert played for the Nets too. Remember, I think the first time I saw the Nets play live, Albert was on the team, and I had watched Albert play at Maryland in the ACC tournament and the NCAAs, because Greensboro got the NCAAs almost every year. So I saw a lot of basketball. That's why I still say that Len Bias is the best basketball player I've ever really watched. As far as total skill level, the number of times I saw him live, he was the best basketball player I ever saw live. And I saw Jordan play live. I'm trying to thank everybody from that era. Worthy. Saw Worthy play live. But as I said, Albert King, Buck Williams, I'm trying to think of them, Johnny Dawkins. Nobody was better than Len Bias. None of them, not raw skill. I mean, I watched one of his ACC games, and I want to say he was a freshman. He came off the bench and had 30-something. And he was, again, more of a natural jump shooter. And this game as his freshman, he scored 30-something. I want to say he was the ACC MVP as a freshman off the bench. But the final game, if I may remember right, he had like 36. Mostly just short range. I mean, that driving came as, he got a little older that second year. But he was going to go in the NBA already having a decent mid-range. Same like Larry Bird. Larry Bird had a mid-range game coming out of college. Of course, he could take people and dish, but Len Bias was a great player. He was a great player. Darren Williams scored 52. Okay. Hey, Key, what's happening? Started watching NBA in 2012. I actually started watching the NBA probably 5-6 years old. My stepfather was a big sports fan, and we watched all of it as TV came on. Yeah, because we used to get the, what was it, ABC back in the 60s. We watched all the Bear game, all the Bears. We watched all the Bears. So I started watching. See, the Bulls didn't come until 70, but the Pistons was on. So we started watching the Pistons. Yeah, when I moved to Kalamazoo, we ended up getting cable. We started watching the Piston games. But before then, we had the weekend games. So I started watching the NBA, in the 60s. Started collecting cards like in the 70s when I was old enough to buy cards myself and follow their stats and stuff and follow the games. Oh, something I didn't realize. I saw about Pistol Pete. Shit, they say Pistol Pete averaged 44 per game for 3 years. Now, I didn't check that out, but that's what Larry Bird said. It was one of them. I watched a little thing on him. He averaged 44 points a game for 3 years in college. That's why he's the best, all-time best college leading player. He's not the best winner, which that would go to Kareem, but he is the all-round best player. And really what you look at is scoring. And again, we can just say all the time, but his game greater than that. he is the best ball handler that college basketball has ever seen, bar none. Still, like 50 years after he went to college, there is still no better ball handler than Pete Maravich. And how do you tell if somebody's great? Do they do your drills? All the ball handling drills you see today are Pete Maravich's drills. Pete Maravich was almost like the Globetrotters by himself. Like the Globetrotters, you learn from studying Connie Hawkins. The beginning of the game, they do the fake out passing and stuff. When my boy Tyrone did that. Beginning of the game, they'd have a little circle and they'd all pass. Pete Maravich was asked to come out before games and perform just his drills. He came out during warm-ups and they started asking him just to do drills. They just wanted to watch his drills. Hot potato, going behind your back all the way down. I mean, there's so many drills. Again, his daddy drove him down the street while he dribbling the basketball in the car, in them big-ass cars. He is dribbling out the window while a moving car is going. Then he would go out the left side. Played varsity from 7th grade till he graduated. Oh, yeah, New Orleans legend. Yeah, LSU. Yeah, he averaged 44 points a game and wore 44 at one point. Yeah, I want to say is like I've caught him wearing 19. Oh, yeah, that's what they said. They said Dale Brown said they went back and charted all his games. They said he would have averaged making 16 threes a game and would have averaged 50-something points, 56 points. But I saw him wearing 19, and then they took Dr. J. Dr. J first tried to break in the NBA with Atlanta, and the judge threw his contract back in his face and made him go back to the ABA. He would average. Oh, here they go. So Pete Maravich was a bad boy. Oh. No, what, you farted? Oh, okay, you're going fast. Well, everyone, I will be on midnight for the Chocolate Mountain Show. And so I got little haters back here. They hating back here behind me, but this is Responsible Daddy Hour, Chocolate Mountain Show at midnight Central. Till we meet again. Bye. Say less.
Bye. Bye. Grammar police, bye. What if you hit them?
I would feel terrible.
If you hit them, wouldn't you just drive away and be like, bye?
Bye.
Bye. See ya.